What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Moose Milk Podcast. This is episode 104. 104. 104.
104? Like, whenever I think of 104, I think of Oldies 104.3 from when I was growing up, the radio station in Michigan.
What was it, like WM? Oh, I don't remember.
WOMC.
WOMC, there it is. I remember that shit.
Oldies 104.3.
Yeah, buddy. It's weird that like none of the radio stations that like we grew up with exist anymore. I mean, other than I think Riff is still around, but like 89X is gone. Fucking all these stations are. It's just brutal. I mean, not that you care. You're in fucking.
I'm in Vancouver. Man, I look rough. But for the record,
I think you look better than ever.
I feel about as good as I look.
Well, hey, I still have no taste. We're going on 2 weeks, so.
Damn, son.
Yeah, buddy. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. It's great. COVID
it sucks.
Thumbs up to COVID. It's
so
my
fun.
favorite. I hope everybody's doing well. I hope everybody had a great week. Obviously, tonight we are going to be talking about the Mandalorian season 3 premiere and The Last of Us episode 7. So stay tuned for that. We'll be spoiling the shit out of those. So if you don't want spoilers or you haven't seen them, maybe bounce after we're done our little opening spiel. But how are you? How was your week? How was everything?
Week was good. I had a mostly busy week again. I got a little bit of customizing in, and I was just saying right before we came on that I made a sales post on Instagram, and I've been just returning DMs for the last night and a half. So, and that's what I'll be doing after this tonight. So as you know, I'll be doing that. So, but otherwise, I didn't really get to watch much other than my usual shit. What about you? What did you get up to this week?
Not too much. I had to go back to work, which is always a bummer after vacation.
Oh, yeah. Bummer. Yeah.
It makes me want to jump off a bridge into a pile of concrete.
A pile of concrete?
Yeah, I just want like a loose pile of like bricks, and I just, or old spoiled concrete. I don't care. I just get me out of here.
There's a guy on YouTube who does that. It's fucking crazy.
Jumps off bridges into bricks?
No, he just does like crazy shit to hurt himself for no reason. Like he'll put like a bunch of like broken pottery on a table, and he'll be like, "This is for all the juggalos and juggalettes." Woo woo! And then he jumps off a ladder and like into all this shit, and he's like, "My fucking back!"
I'm too old for that shit, man. Like, going back to work alone made my fucking pinched nerve in my back start acting up again, and I'm like,
my sciatica.
Yeah, exactly. Like I'm too old for this shit. I bend wrong and I'm like broken for a week. It's brutal. So I miss the old days Jordan? When you could be like young and just like jump off stuff and like do stupid things and you'd be fine.
Yeah, I know. I wish I rebounded. Even just getting up off the floor now is like
oh yeah, it's brutal.
But I need to do something about that. I gotta get moving on that shit.
Yeah, well, we're just old, man. What are you gonna do?
I know.
But other than that, I went to a Spitfires game today. So
we should probably say what that is for everybody who is not from Windsor.
It's our Ontario Hockey League team. It's like a amateur, basically most of them are going to the NHL, but it's like a step below the NHL. You like I think 17 to 20-year-olds, I think is like the average age. But so it's our local team, and we lost, but it was a fun game because it was 9-6, which is
that's crazy.
Basically, a football score for hockey. So, but yeah, it was a fun time. And other than that, this week, I mean, I watched some things. We'll get into it, but nothing too crazy other than that.
Nice.
So I have a cough.
So that's lots of cough. The COVID cough stays. It's annoying.
It's not going away. Like I was talking to a few people that I talked to, and fucking this non-taste, no smell thing. A lot of people are saying like, dude, it might not come back.
I think it comes back eventually, but I've heard of like long-term ones where it takes like a month or two, sometimes even. But
one guy I was talking to said his buddy has had it for 6 months.
Whoa,
and
that would be shitty.
A lot of food that he can taste, like that did come back, doesn't taste the same anymore.
Weird. That sucks.
Like, his taste buds have changed dramatically, and foods he used to like doesn't taste the right at all. So
baby frying.
I don't know. I'm scared that like my favorite foods are not coming back. But my friend Brian's like, hey, maybe you'll just like really start liking like broccoli or something. That would be like your pizza now, and you can just eat.
The thing is like that would be amazing if food didn't taste the way it would. Most of the time, it's not food taste for me; it's texture. It's like salad. It's like I
I love
can't eat.
salad.
I can't do lettuce like leafy greens because like I don't like the texture. Grosses me out.
I don't like it on other food. Like if I get a burger, get
You
that
don't want
fucking
lettuce on
garbage
it,
off there.
right?
I don't want any
But
of
as
that
a
shit.
salad, you'll eat a salad.
Oh yeah, hell yeah, I love a salad.
Oh yeah. See, I'm not a salad guy. I can do it on a burger, but it's like I use it more for the texture on the burger.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I like things like lettuce wraps. Lettuce wraps are pretty good. But when I'm just eating a giant bowl of like chopped up lettuce, it's just like I don't know.
Yeah. Fuck me, man. I hate this cough.
Yeah, they're the worst. Hi, Marcus. Says,
what
geez,
up?
hope your tastes come back, but I hope you recover overall.
Yeah, maybe I won't. I mean, maybe that's better for all of us if I just don't. Who knows? But I appreciate that. That's very kind of you. What'd you watch this week? What do you want to talk about here?
Okay, so this week all I watched was Mandalorian, which we're going to talk about. Last of Us, which we're going to talk about. Ooh, nipple clamps.
Continue. They aren't, but yes. They could be used for that.
Yes, those would be intense nipple clamps. And then I watched Bad Batch, which was mostly good. It was kind of like, it was a good one again this week. So nice. They kind of touched on some old stuff, which was nice. So. And then we just watched this Netflix thing called Murdaugh Murders or something. Or you see, that's like a documentary. It's a 3-episode documentary, and it's like about this family where like shit keeps happening in the family, and they kind of tie it together after all these like from all these different points in time. And
the trial's just finished in the States.
It just finished, yeah. So
yeah,
we watched that.
Oh, is it worth watching?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you might. I don't know. It's not like mind blowing, but I guess if you had time to like, I probably wouldn't watch it again. But
yeah, I mean, like they covered it on last podcast on the left side stories for the last 6 months probably. They've been talking about it like as little details trickled out and shit like that. So I know most of the like details to it, but so I didn't watch.
If you know a little bit, then it might be fun because I bet you get it really goes through quite a bit because it kind of breaks down each like crime one episode at a time. So it's like the first one's all about Mallory, the girl who disappears like on the boat. And then the next one is about like a kid who was found on the street or whatever. And the next one is about his wife and son.
Yep.
So yeah. I don't know.
I'll check it out.
You might like it. Yeah, you might like it. It's not, I mean, it's not a big investment. I think it's like each one's like 45 minutes or something like that.
Yeah, I mean, I love true crime shit. You know that, so
yeah, it'd be up your alley. So, and then that's all I watched.
Well, that was cute.
Thank you.
All right, well, that's the end of the episode.
Thank you guys very much for coming out. Really appreciate it. Like and subscribe, please.
I watched a ton of shit.
You wrote it down? Whoa.
So I'm just gonna go through this really quick.
I guess you should write it down with that much. Holy fuck.
Yeah, I have no life. So I'm still watching Australian Survivor, which is 3 episodes a week, which is awesome. Nice. It's really good. It's way better than the American Survivor. If you like Survivor, watch Australian Survivor. It's way better. US Survivor actually started this week. So there was a 2-hour. Yeah, there's a 2-hour premiere on Wednesday. I watched that. It's fine. I don't know. The premiere was interesting. It's not as good as Australian, but the season is like off to a good start because there's like a fuck ton of injuries, and it's always fun when people like fall off shit and break themselves. I'm always into it. I mean, I don't want anybody to die or anything, but it's fun when people are dumb.
Yeah, I love that.
I watched Jim Jefferies' new stand-up on Netflix, High and Dry. Nice. After seeing him live last week, I finally sat down and watched his new special, and it's good. It's funny. If you like Jim Jefferies and you're not easily offended, definitely watch it.
Yeah, you need to make sure you really aren't easily offended if you're watching him.
Yeah, I mean, he says the C word, which a lot of women hate constantly. So if like you're easily offended by that word, definitely not for you.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
So Console Wars is a documentary about the early battle between Nintendo and Sega during the NES / Sega Genesis era.
Yeah.
It's based off a book by Blake Harris I've read, but I wanted to watch the documentary, and it's good. It's not as good as the book, definitely. But it's all about that era of gaming and like how Sega broke into like the game industry and how they were like kind of marketing against Nintendo at that time, and like the battle between the two. And
I definitely remember the battle because we were a Sega family, and then I bought a Super Nintendo eventually, and I loved it. I was like, "This is what I'm missing out on."
see, like, fuck. I had a regular Nintendo, and then I had like friends that lived like a couple doors down from me, and they had a Sega Genesis, and they had all like the Sonic games and shit. And I was like, oh my god, these games are amazing. So I like begged my parents for like 6 months to get me a Sega Genesis, and my dad was like, he was in construction and shit, so he was redoing my grandparents' roof, and he's like, you help me do the roof and you clean up all the shingles and all that stuff, and I'll buy you a Sega Genesis as like a reward for doing the work or whatever.
Nice.
So I got a Sega Genesis from that, and like I fucking cherished that thing. I never had a Super Nintendo.
Oh really? Yeah, we had 2 Segas in our house because like me and Jay played it, and then I remember my dad bought it for us, and then he got hooked on NHL 96 or 93 maybe.
94, Ben, that was the one.
94, that was the main one, right? And then he also got hooked on Arnold Palmer's Golf. So he would make me and Jay go. He would be like, "Go play upstairs," and to make us leave him alone, he bought us a second Sega Genesis for the upstairs.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
man. Like I could go on like an hour spiel about that era of gaming, but like the documentary is great, and I highly recommend it because
is it on? What's it on?
I watched it illegally, so I don't know, you'd have to find it somewhere, but it's called Console Wars. It's really good. The book is awesome.
Cool. I'll have to check it out. It sounds good.
But yeah, like it's all about like Sega trying to convince like Sega America trying to convince Sega Japan on like the way to market this thing and how to break into like the American like industry or whatever, and like the Japanese looking at things very dramatically different than like American advertising and everything like that, and like all kinds of things like that, where like, and then it goes into a little bit afterwards where they're getting out of that era, and like Sega was like, as everybody knows probably, or if you don't, Sega like died immediately after the Genesis, basically, of like their console industry. They make games still, but like they never really made another successful console after the Genesis.
I remember that. Well, because then they do like Saturn and Sega
Saturn and Dreamcast. Dreamcast was what killed them, but Saturn failed miserably, and they did like Sega 32X and CD. That was like attachments for the Genesis, but they never really took off either. I saw this. Jordan from Canada.
Jordan from Canada says, speaking of true crime, been watching a friend stream The Wolf Among Us on Twitch. Like
really good.
True crime meets classic fables. Think you'd love it, Ryan.
I've already played it. It's came out, I want to say, in the PS3 era, maybe the PS4 era. I played it. They're working on a sequel right now, but it just got pushed to 2024. But it's excellent. It's like a weird, like adult take, true crime take on like fable story, like fairy tale type things. It's really cool.
I think we've talked about that on here before, haven't we?
I'm not sure, but it's really good. It's a really cool, like I don't know, like adult take on like fairy tales and shit. It's pretty cool.
Cool.
Okay, where was I here? Burning Love. My friend Brett recommended me. It's like a mockumentary on The Bachelor and The Bachelorette.
Okay.
It's from like 2013 era, but like it's got all these like random famous actors and actresses in it playing like little parts, and like Ken Jeong plays like a woman in it. And it's really funny, dude. Like it's just really like making fun of The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, and it's
nice. I've never watched The Bachelor and The Bachelorette, so
it's so cringy. It's so awkward and cringy, and like I don't know. I enjoyed it, but it was like 6 episodes or something like that, so I burned through that. Monique Olivier, Accessory to Evil, is like a new true crime documentary that just came on Netflix as well.
Nice.
It's French. It's all subtitled, so you got to be into the subtitles, but it's good. It's fucked up. Again, it's not for everybody. It's really fucked up. It is like it's like all about like molestation of like young kids and like rape and like murder and like all kinds of shit. It's fucked up. It's super fucked up, but I love true crime. The problem with Jon Stewart's new show on Apple Plus TV, whatever the fuck it's called. If you like Jon Stewart, it's really good. It's worth checking out. He just did a new episode. I think it just came back from break because it was off over the holidays and everything.
Nice.
It's all about like politics and shit like that. But
You
he
sent
does
me something today about that, didn't you?
yeah, it's from the new episode.
I'm really behind on my messages on Instagram.
It's all good, buddy. It's like 9 minutes long, the segment I showed you, but
Oh,
it's all about like the gun culture in the US, and he interviews this like Republican from like Oklahoma or something. It's fucking hilarious.
nice.
That
That sounds like it's right up my alley.
It's really good. Shrinking obviously is that show I was watching on Apple Plus TV as well. The new episode came out yesterday. It's still really good, really funny. Recommend it. And then
Nice.
Last of Us
That's
and
Jason
Mandalorian,
Segel, right?
Jason Segel and Harrison Ford.
Nice.
Yeah, really good. And then Last of Us, Mandalorian. Oh, and Jeopardy. I'm obsessed with Jeopardy. So that's been my week.
Jeopardy. That's cool, man. That's fun. I still haven't had a chance to get my Stream Deck to work. I haven't had time to sit down and really toy with it.
It's all good,
It was
buddy.
supposed to be yesterday, but then I was like, yeah, nothing's happening yesterday. So probably early this week sometime.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited to see how it works, and you know, us to become fucking shock DJs on the
radio.
Exactly.
Radio.
Exactly.
Lasers in the background.
Yeah, exactly. That's what we need is the lasers.
I have that. It's one of the ones I have.
Beautiful.
I'll play it for myself right now.
I can hear it a little bit.
You can really?
Yeah, I think it just picked up on your mic.
Oh yeah, that probably is. I have my earphones with it.
I like it. Yeah. So that was my week. What do you want to talk about first, Mandalorian or Last of Us?
Just talk about Mandalorian first, I think.
Okay. Mandalorian season 3, episode 1. Let's
episode 1.
Throw up this.
Yeah, let's throw up them spoilers, dog.
Spoiler warnings.
Spoilers.
Yeah, so obviously we both really love the first 2 seasons, and we got the premiere of the new season on Wednesday. And what did you think? I love me the Grogu's.
Grogu's very cute. So when we originally talked about it, I was pretty sour on it. Not necessarily because I thought it was bad, more just because I kind of wanted more of a setup, I guess. Felt like it was just kind of like, hey, here's all these people. Do you remember them? That's kind of what it felt like.
I agree.
But I mean, as I've like kind of sat with it for a few days, I don't know. It was good. I didn't dislike it. I don't know. I was kind of hoping for more of a setup. And
it didn't move the needle.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like ever since we kind of talked about the Mandalorian and them Favreau saying that like they don't really have an ending in mind with like how his story ends, I've kind of been like, I hope it. I think about again, like I think I said this last week. It reminds me of Bad Batch, where I'm just like I feel like we're not doing anything. Like I feel like we're just like, hey, here's a mission. Hey, here's a mission. Hey, here's a mission.
It feels like a video game side quest, like where people are just handing you things to do, and it's just busy work. Like it's not like important. It's not the main storyline. It's like, hey, you need a part for your ship. Go here. Hey, you need to pick up this on planet
Space Pirates are here.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like, oh, you got to fight these guys now because they're after your trial laws on your ship. Like, watch out. And it's like, all right. It just feels like a lot of busy work to me. But
yeah,
Grogu's so fucking cute.
Oh my god, that part where he's spinning in the chair is fucking the cutest thing ever, and he uses the Force to get the little M&M.
Like that's what saved the episode for me was Grogu doing cute things when
picking up the little like
the little guy
or whatever, and just like, oh, it's mine. Like, no, they're not toys.
Yeah, those little guys are so cute.
Babu Freak, that was his name. The episode 9 one, anyway.
Well, like I just think of like all the little like practical puppets and shit that was used in this episode, and like I loved all of it. Like even the little fucking
he did, Jordan. He did. It might not have been an actual M&M, but it was like
some kind of candy. Yeah. All the little what do you call them? The fucking
the space monkeys, the ones from Jabba's
palace. What are they fucking called? I can't even think of it.
Salacious Crumb is the character.
Salacious Crumb. That's what I was trying to think.
I think they're called space. I think they're actually called space monkeys, but I might be wrong.
But all them sitting up in the tree and like all the little creatures working on the droid and like all that stuff. I was like, oh, I love that it's like 90s Muppet style Star Wars. Like it's just all these little creatures hanging out, and I don't feel like the last few Star Wars stuff has like really done much of that. Like it feels like it's all humans and not aliens.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring this up because I agree with, and the IG-11 thing is annoying to me as well.
It was so
So Marcus,
Terminator.
yeah, Marcus. Well, that part. I mean, let me elaborate. But he said, I agree. It felt like he was busy recapping. The writing felt different from what it used to be in season 1. The setup for IG-11 felt random, in my opinion. Yeah, like, I mean, I understand wanting to bring him back, but again, because we're already bringing back stuff so much already in this episode, it felt completely unneeded. And like, even if you needed a new droid, why would you go through built, like, it's a droid, like, it's not like
They're
that droid
plentiful.
is, well, that droid is gone. Like, I mean, it's been destroyed. If you're going to replace it, it's going to be a different droid now. So like, that whole thing doesn't make sense, like really make sense to me. But I did
Doesn't
like
make
the
any
part
sense.
where it came alive and tried to kill Grogu. I thought that was really cool, but it was very
It's
Terminator.
just
Like,
Terminator.
somebody sent me one of those meme things, and it has like the 4 things that's like episode 1 of Mandalorian season 3 in with no words, and it was like Swamp Thing, the Terminator robot like pulling itself forward, Kanan on his Ezra on his ship from Star Wars Rebels, and there was one other one I can't remember, but
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree with you. Like it didn't feel like a Mandalorian episode to me. It felt very
kind of felt like Book of Boba Fett to me, because like I
yeah.
felt like they did that a lot too. Hey, we're on Tatooine, and here, look at all this stuff that you remember.
Yeah, totally. Marcus E says bringing back IG felt like forced character development for Mando, and in a way ruining the meaning of his sacrifice. Yeah, I totally agree. I didn't understand that either. That was a part of the episode where I was like, there is droids everywhere. This makes no sense.
Yeah,
Like, go buy another droid. Go find the like whoever's selling droids, whoever
like to
Ewoks,
me that
whoever
would
the
have
fuck it is,
benefited.
and
That would have made his story arc about droids better. The fact that he could just he had such an experience with IG-11 that he's moved past the fact that he has to be afraid of every droid, and
yeah,
he wants to work with something new or something different, right?
yeah. It just didn't make any sense because he's like, I need a droid I trust. Well, it's not the same droid. You're rebuilding it from scratch.
I
It did.
didn't. Yeah, I just in its setup, I still think it's better. Like the thing is like where it did well, the space sequence where the
Yep.
pirates are chasing him was
Yep.
so fucking fun.
So fun.
Like so fun.
Straight
And
out of
like
like episode 5 like era, like Han Solo going around the fucking asteroids and
so
shit.
good.
Like, yeah. Or is
And
that
like
episode 4? Episode 4. I don't know.
episode yeah, no, I think that's oh yeah, I think that is 4. Anyway, the opening scene with the big crocodile thing or whatever that was,
It felt like fucking Book of Boba Fett.
I mean, I felt like the CGI was really dicey in
It
it.
was.
Like it was not. It didn't really. I was like, oh, that looks really fake. Um, but I didn't mind the rest of it, and I liked how, of course, he comes and saves everybody. But again, it kind of takes away from their people who, like, over the past season, has been like they've been talking about the Mandalore as a race that's like so powerful, and it's like there's all of them fighting this thing, and then Mando just comes in and is like. You're all
Totally.
good. You're all been saved now, right? And
It
it's just like,
bothered me that none of their weapons did anything
did
to this
anything?
thing.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
okay, they know this thing exists where they're living and they didn't have any type of like protection against it. They didn't come up with like ways of taking these things down. Like, I don't know. It felt very Book of Boba Fett to me at that part too, where I was like, didn't we get this exact scene in Book of Boba Fett where he's trying to take down some big monster or something? Like,
Yeah,
I feel
at
like
the
I remember
beginning.
that. Yeah. Okay. So
At the beginning, it was episode 2, I think, or maybe it might have been the first one at the end, maybe.
yeah, so it just felt like the exact same thing again. I'm like, we didn't need this at all. Like, I understand you want some kind of like battle scene or whatever, but like the space scene was way cooler than that.
Yeah, the space scene was dope. I love that.
But yeah, like I love Mando and Grogu's relationship, and I think that's
Me
like the
too.
selling point of the show. And I wanted to see more Darksaber shit, and the fact that like that didn't happen, I was kind of
We didn't even
disappointed.
see it light up.
No, I was thought for sure at some point he was gonna light it up and like
Next episode.
yeah, for sure. I mean, like who knows? Maybe the rest of the season is gonna be like dope, and it was just a setup episode. But
Yeah,
I think as a premiere, it was kind of weak.
I like. They legit could have used their jet rockets.
Yeah, they didn't.
Yeah. Another thing I liked was it was fun to spend time with Carl Weathers' character, Grief Karga again. That
Yeah,
was pretty fun. Their relationship is always fun to
Totally.
see together. And I also like that they referenced Cara Dune as well.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she's not going to be back in the show, but the fact that like the character went off, no, she shouldn't. But the fact that like she exists still in the canon and like she's just gone off to help whatever the fucking Republic or whatever the fuck it was, like,
imagine they're like she betrayed everyone and went with the Empire. Fucking traitor.
They could have really thrown her under the bus, but no, I like that, and I liked seeing like the how like the city and everything looked different around him, like because of him taking over as like whatever mayor or whatever the fuck it was, and like his deal with the pirates and everything like that. Like I thought that was all fun and Star Warsy.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, like I thought it was a pretty weak premiere, and it felt very short. Like I guess it was only
it did feel short,
35 minutes or whatever the fuck it was. But yeah, it's just they need it. I don't know. For me, these hour-long episodes are where like their sweet point is. As long as you have enough content, I think every episode should be about an hour. But
I agree. Or I mean, I'm fine with 45 minutes. It's just when it's only 40 minutes with the credits, it's just like you feel like you get like gypped, kind of. It's like
it's I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was anticipating it so much that it just let me down. But I don't know. I think it's cute. I love Grogu. I want to see more Grogu. I hope the rest of the season.
So cute that little fucker is.
Totally. I hope the rest of the season is like awesome. But
yeah, I hope it's all just Grogu in his chair spinning around. Like,
just more cute Grogu stuff. Like I love that he's using the Force for actual things now. And like they keep showing that clip of like obviously him in the cave, like throwing whatever it is out of the cave or whatever from the trailer. Yeah. And so clearly that's gonna happen. And like
yeah, great point. Marcus E said, I like Grief Karga and the town. It shows some progression without making it a major plot point.
Yeah, time has passed, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I did feel like the characters were kind of pointing it out too. Like, didn't you finish your mission? Like, why are you still doing things? And like, I was like, man, it makes it seem like the characters are even bored with this whole storyline. Like, I don't know, it was weird.
Didn't you finish that already? What are you doing?
Yeah, like
you've done that. I have another mission. No, one of those. Okay.
Yeah, like Grief Karga's like, yo, like stay here and be our sheriff or whatever. And he's like, no, I got stuff to do. And he's like, I thought you already did everything. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah, like, you're gonna hang up your helmet. It's like, do you not fucking know me? Like,
yeah, exactly. Like, it seemed very weird, but like, I think it would be cool to actually see Mandalore and everything.
Yep. Neil says, do you think they're gonna make Grogu a Mandalorian with a little sweet set of armor? Yes, I 100% do.
I cannot wait for that toy. I will buy another stuffed animal of Grogu if they have Mandalorian armor on it. I can't.
Mando armor Grogu. Yeah. Imagine they had like a helmet with the ear spot cut out so the ears can come out. Or if they
a rocket pack.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, they're always going to change up the armor every season because they want to sell more toys. So that's Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
The IG thing was so confusing to me. Like they went from Mando saying he'll find the parts for IG to him immediately going to Bo-Katan to continue his quest. Like, where's the continuity here? Yeah, totally. It felt very disjointed the entire episode. It just felt like they're. Yeah, it's fun. I mean, it's nowhere near as good as the last show.
The Last of Us?
No, the last Star Wars show.
Oh, Andor.
Fuck me, my brain is gone. Yeah, I mean, I think Andor knocked it out of the park.
The thing with Andor was that Andor was different. Like, it was Star Wars. It was still very Star Wars feeling, while feeling like a brand new breath of air has been blown into it. Like,
yeah.
The thing is like Mando as a character is really cool, and Grogu as a character is really cool, and them together and their relationship is even cooler. So it's like, as long as they have that, they probably, for the most part, at least have a season or two of like safety before people are starting to be like, what the fuck is this shit?
See, but like, I mean, look, I'm a huge Succession fan, and I know I keep saying this every week, but like, they announced that season 4 is going to be the last season, and he's like, the creator of the show is like, I think we've told our story. Like, we could drag this on for 9 more seasons if we wanted to, but like, why? This is the story. And I love shows that know, okay, we have a starting point, we have an end point. This is like why shows like Lost and stuff like that like really lost its fandom, because it felt like they were just making seasons of
As
shows
they
just
went
to
along.
extend the show. Like, it was like, we don't have a storyline anymore. We're just trying to figure out a way to make this 6 seasons long instead of 3 seasons long.
Sure.
And I think shows that like know their endpoint and end it and just say like, hey, we're out. We'll do a different storyline. We'll do a different character, whatever. I think that's the right way to go. So to me, like, if Mando should only be 4 seasons, then make it 4 seasons. Don't make it 8 seasons just to make it 8 seasons.
But the fact that they don't know where it's going, if that is indeed the case, then like it's
troubling.
Because we're in the 3rd season, so you're gonna just spend this whole one spinning tires. I mean, again, because like really, that's what Bad Batch feels like right now. Like, it sucks, but like,
yeah,
you know, like, I'm still enjoying it. Don't get me wrong. Like, but it's just like we're getting a lot of like character development because we're seeing them deal with different things that haven't happened before. But like, the story doesn't go anywhere. Like, it's just like it's a weekly mission after weekly mission after weekly mission. Yeah. And it's just like like the first season had that, but like, you know, it still had some like development through like a major, like one kind of plot throughout the whole thing, right? This one doesn't have anything like that. Like I'm talking about Bad Batch.
Yeah.
I hope I think Mandalorian will get better. Honestly, I do.
So do I.
I'm not counting it out. So
I have faith that this season's going to be really good. I think it just was a really slow start, but
yeah,
I agree with you that like, I think Disney is starting to really realize, like, I mean, we've talked about it the last few weeks of them cutting out shows and them apparently trimming down everything. And like, I think Star Wars is the same way. As I think they're doing too many shows and they're realizing that not all of it's great. And if we cut out some of this bad shit, we get, you know, just the best stuff, the premium content. Yeah. And I think that's probably the right way to go.
Crop.
My buddy Sean texted me this like while we were at the hockey game, and he's like, did you guys talk about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 being indefinitely delayed? And I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? And he pulled up an article. He didn't realize it was from 2018, but it was after James Gunn got fired there for that brief minute.
Oh, I see.
And they're talking about the delay, but he thought it was brand new news. And I was like, I was so confused. And then he was like, oh, I'm an idiot. But like, it really feels like that. Like, anytime Disney could announce like, hey, we're delaying some things, we're pushing things out, we're canceling this. Like, it feels like they're in a very like messy moment. Yeah. And so it wouldn't surprise me if they were like, hey, we're pushing this or we're delaying this. Or I know they keep talking about a new Star Wars movie, but like, it feels like we haven't had a good Star Wars movie in like forever, you know, since Rogue One. That's what.
Yeah, that's true.
2016.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say I liked episode 7. I liked episode 7, but
that was before Rogue One.
Oh, was it? Oh yeah, okay. Sorry, my bad. Catch a couple of these comments. Marcus says, I feel like in some cases it's cool if they diverge from the main storyline. Makes me think of Samurai Jack, but like you said, if it's disjointed like this, it just gets confusing. He said that season 2 premiere was fantastic from what I remember. What one is he talking about there?
I assume Mandalorian, but
oh yeah, maybe. Yeah, I feel like maybe,
or maybe Lost. I don't know. I mean, for me, like, I don't know if Marcus, let us know what you're thinking. If you're talking about Lost, then I agree. Like, the first 2 seasons of that show are like 10 out of 10 for me, and then they tread water for like 3 seasons, which is a bummer.
I didn't even read this when I put it up. If Mando would suck some whole juice down, he would be able to communicate better with Grogu.
That's what we need, is more whole juice.
All the whole juice. Marcus is he says Mando season 2.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Mandalorian season 2 is like fucking phenomenal.
Yeah, as a whole, I really like season 2.
I think Andor is the best.
Stuff is from Book of Boba Fett. Those 2 episodes with Book of Boba Fett are fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think my dislike of that was just because it was called Book of Boba Fett, and I really wanted a sweet Boba Fett show, and we just didn't get that at all.
It was just Mando kicking ass with his Darksaber and struggling with it. It was fucking sick. It was amazing.
Yeah, those 2 episodes were good, but like, they belonged as like the premiere of season 3 of Mandalorian.
Yes, I agree. Like, I can imagine lots of people who don't stay up to date with everything got to season 3 and they're like, wasn't Grogu and him separated?
Well, why did he have a Darksaber? Where'd that come from? Like, all this shit.
We don't know that yet because they haven't seen anything yet. So
yeah. I don't know. Like I said, it was fine. It was like a solid 7 for me. It wasn't blowing me out of the water. It felt short. I'm excited to see where it goes, but like, it didn't move the needle for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would be. I would say it's about the same. 7 out of 10 for me.
Sure. Last of Us. I'm gonna let you talk because I feel like I've been talking a lot. So, what did you think of The Last of Us?
You're gonna talk a lot here too, because you're gonna have to fill me in on like everything. Yeah. Okay. So spoilers for the latest episode of Last of Us. What season? Episode 7? Yeah. There you go.
Season 7.
Season 7
Episode
of The
7.
Last of Us. Yeah, I liked it. Honestly, I mean, so it's like cool to get to kind of see Ellie's story. But my only thought is I felt like it didn't, like, if we just didn't have that episode, I feel like it really wouldn't have like mattered. Like, I know it's good to like get the backstory, I guess. So for that, I'm fine with it, but it just like felt like kind of like in a kind of like for a whole episode, it just seemed like we didn't really do anything. But
So yeah,
I like, but I
agree
liked
with you.
it. I liked it. I thought it was good. I liked her. I liked the slow burn of like the relationship between her and her friend, whose name I can't remember.
Riley.
Riley, and like the vision. And you even told me this when we were talking after the show last week, when you said like, if it is what it is, then they go to like this like abandoned mall or whatever. And I was like, oh my God, that would be sick. And then they're doing everything. I'm like, oh my God, this is so sick. I would love to do that.
Same.
Oh man, imagine you go play an arcade and just fucking
nobody around. You just get the place yourself. It's the dream. It's the dream. So I mean, I obviously have a lot to say about the episode, but I will say I agree with you. Like it did tread water, and it did feel like an episode that wasn't needed, especially with me knowing how much left they have to do in 2 episodes. I have no idea how they're finishing this story in 2 episodes.
Do you think they're going to actually finish season 1 of Game in this season?
I do.
Damn.
It should be probably 3 episodes left, and I think the last 2 episodes are only 55 minutes each, so I don't know how they're going to do it, but look, I'll say the elements that this episode did set up is for season 2 or the second game. Like, we needed to get out of the way that Ellie is gay, or at least like possibly into girls. I mean, it doesn't really specify what her exact orientation is, but she's romantically interested in women, and that does set up storylines of seasons like of the second game. And it does kind of like show you why Ellie is attached to Joel, is like she's lost everybody. She doesn't have any attachments. The person she cared most about died, and she survived, and she doesn't understand why. She needs to understand what her purpose is, right? Like, she's supposed to be this cure, but is she like, she wants to have a purpose, and she lost the person that was giving her purpose. So I think that's a lot of what this episode was trying to set up. I did feel like it was too long, and there wasn't enough content put into it that like satisfied me for 50 minutes of the show. Like,
that's fair.
They left a lot out of from the game.
Did they? Yeah.
So,
well, again, I think at this point they probably have to, just to keep it trim.
But for me, like, this episode dragged at parts, and I was like, you could have really spiced this episode up a little bit with like things that is actually in the game that they just didn't include.
Sure.
Like, I know like not all of it would translate well from a video game to a show, but like, they like when they first get into the mall, there's 2 like two cars that are like left in the middle of the mall area. And they grab bricks from like the second floor and they start chucking them at the car windows as like a game. And it's the first person to break all the windows wins. And they have like cute little like tournaments like this. And then they go play video games together, and they're like kind of like fighting, like fun, playful fighting in the video game. And then like they get squirt guns and they're like running around in an abandoned department store, like shooting each other with water guns. And like, it's all this like little cute, like datey elements like that they like just like completely left out. And I was like, well, this really sets up like their kind of like fun rivalry / romantic like relationship, like and they just left it all out. But like the DLC is also ties into like she goes to a mall in the DLC to like find health supplies to help Joel's from his like wound, basically. So
okay,
there's a whole like half of the the DLC where she's like going to an abandoned mall on her own to find like a health kit or like health
And it like
supplies.
sparks up all the memories of this.
Yeah. So as
Wow.
she's going throughout the
That would
mall,
have
like
made more sense.
she's reminiscing about her last time in the mall with Riley, but there's like in the like the new segment of the mall where she's at to find health supplies, there's like a crashed airplane through the top of the mall that landed in like the second floor of the mall.
Shut the fuck up. That'd be so
And
cool.
so she's like trying to figure out a way to get through
into
certain
there.
parts of the mall, but like she can't because there's this crashed plane in the fucking way. And like, so she's like dodging in around like different parts of the mall and in and out of stores to like going through the back halls to get to this side of the mall and like all this stuff.
Crazy.
And then a bunch of like raiders and shit come into the mall and she has to like basically defend herself on her own without Joel against all these raiders. And like they just left that all out, like stuff like that, where I'm like, man, this would have really
see them leaving that part out because it's like that would be an episode in its own. Like that's the
right.
thing, is like things move a little slower in the movie stuff, right? In the cinematic stuff.
They do, but like I think it would have been really cool because she gets her bow and arrow. She starts using a bow and arrow,
right?
And
I knew that.
Like it'd been awesome to see her like actually use a bow and arrow here as like practice and like these hunters around and she's just picking them off with a bow and arrow. It'd be awesome. It'd be like Rambo or something, man.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that'd have been sweet. And they just didn't do any of that. So like, not that I didn't like the episode. I thought the episode was fine. It felt a little repetitive of episode 3 of the whole like character arc there of like the gay couple and everything like that. And it was like, I don't know if we necessarily needed another, episode that's kind of retreading that ground.
Yeah.
It lost like that emotional attachment because we've already seen it this season for me.
Yep. Yeah.
So this episode didn't like really pull on my heartstrings as much as like episode 3, which fucking broke me.
Yeah, same here. Episode 3 was so fucking sad.
Right. I'm not saying it was bad, and I enjoyed it, and like I liked Riley. I thought she played the part really well. Like I loved all the like teenage like going through the mall, the photo booth, all that shit. Like
the photo booth, yeah, so fun.
That's all straight out of the game, and like it's excellent. Her making fun of Ellie about like the Victoria's Secret store and all that shit. Yeah. Like it's just cute couple things that you would do as a teenager in the mall, but like it's an abandoned mall and it's in the apocalypse, and like I don't know, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was I liked it too. Neil said Last of Us kind of losing me now. I was hooked when it seemed like a wild journey through these creatures. Series still good, but I feel like it lost its hype momentum a little bit.
I mean, that's totally fair.
Yeah.
I will say the last 2 episodes are going to be very intense. So this is kind of...
We have only 2 more episodes or 3?
2. I know where this is going, and if you haven't played the game, like I'm not going to spoil anything, but this is like the down slow episode where the last 2 episodes are going to be balls to the wall, fucking very intense, and the momentum will be back. It's going to be a high pace for the rest of the season because there's a lot of ground to cover. So the next episode is going to be very intense.
Can't wait, man.
I know exactly what from the preview I watched. I don't know if anybody's seen the preview, but
I didn't see it.
Okay, so there's an actor that's going to be in the next episode that is actually the voice of Joel in the game, and he's playing a character in the next episode. His name's Troy Baker. He's a very famous voice actor for video games and everything. But so that's a really cool part. And then I'm pretty sure the Ashley Johnson, who plays Ellie in the video game, the voice actor for Ellie, is apparently in the last episode. So
that's pretty cool too.
Yeah. But yeah, I like the episode. I wish it did a little more, and I wish it had a little bit of a quicker pace. But like, I enjoyed it overall, and I'm very excited to see how this ends. Like,
yeah, this has been fun so far. I like it, especially for someone who has no context going into it. It's been good.
I did see Bella Ramsey had an interview, and she's like, the last episode is going to be very divisive, and I don't know if she's saying divisive as in the fan of the video game is going to not like this possibly, or if she's saying people that don't know the story of the video game that are seeing the story play out for the first time is going to find the ending very divisive. Like, I'm not sure which way to take that, which is very interesting to me, just as I know where this is going. And if it differs greatly from the video game, I'm going to be pretty disappointed because I think the video game has a perfect ending. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not trying to be like a toxic, fucking internet hater or anything. Like, oh, you didn't tell my story the way I wanted it. Like, no, they're the creatives. Tell me the story you want to tell, and I'll judge it based
and I'll
off
make
that.
a decision. Yeah. Could The Last of Us lose Ryan at the very last minute? Find out in 2 weeks.
I hope not, man, because fuck. It's my favorite piece of fiction.
Does Joel get his Mandalorian armor next episode?
That's the episode we need. That's the crossover we need.
That is. And then little baby Grogu comes in. Or even better, Ellie turns into Grogu somehow. She's like, what the fuck?
It's like some kind of radiation thing that makes your ears grow out and turn green. No, the next episode is going to be fucking Ellie badass as fuck. So
nice.
Be excited. Be excited.
I can handle some of that. I love how like not so much this episode, but like the last one when they were in that like town or whatever, she's just becoming such a like adult, even though she's like a kid, and just like how she talks to people and interacts with people and like.
Yeah, I think she's getting like a little confidence through Joel, but
yeah.
You definitely realize like she's learning to survive and she's learning how to take care of herself in situations she's never experienced before. And that's part of the joy. Like, I mean, joy of the game is like you see things through Ellie's eyes, is like you kind of get to see the apocalypse through somebody that is experiencing for the first time, just like you're experiencing that world as the first time. And that's why the game works so well, I think, is like Joel's the hardened veteran survivalist, and you playing as Ellie is like kind of like, oh, I don't know what's going on, I don't know where we're going. Ellie and Grogu buddy cop spinoff while Joel and Din are just being two dads cracking cold ones off screen. Yeah, I mean, there's gonna be fan fiction from this, I guarantee.
For sure, yeah. Who wins in a fight? Ellie versus Grogu. No force powers allowed. Biting and eye gouging allowed.
If no force powers, then definitely Ellie.
Ellie, yeah, she's gonna fuck shit up.
She could take put a bow through Grogu's face in a heartbeat.
It just like it starts. It's like round one fight, and it's just like an arrow just shoots through Grogu's eye.
It'd be the Mortal Kombat scene of her and Riley, but Grogu and her. A post-apocalyptic Star Wars series, that would be great.
That would be great. Fuck yeah.
I'm hoping that's what we kind of get with the next episode of Mandalorian, with him going back to Mandalore. Like I hope it's like an apocalyptic like planet of like, who knows exactly how they're gonna do it, but like I don't know if there's still people living there or what, but just like this world that's just destroyed, and like seeing all like the crumbling of a society that like once existed and stuff, like that'd be awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
Y'all are forgetting that Grogu's a biter. Dude's consumed anything and everything in sight. That's true. He's like Kirby, basically. He's like a little green Kirby. He just sucks everything up.
That's funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I love The Last of Us, and I'm so excited for the finale. And
yeah, me too. I'm excited to see next episode. Now you got me pumped.
It's gonna suck the like break in between the seasons, man, because I have a feeling the show's not coming back to like 2025. So
that's too bad.
Because it sounds, my buddy was telling me tonight that they asked Pedro Pascal if they had like a shooting schedule for the next season or something, and he basically was like, maybe later this year, but more likely next year. So if they're just starting to shoot next year, it's not going to be till 2025.
Yeah.
So I mean, the guy's the fucking busiest actor in Hollywood right now. So
yeah, man, he's hot shit.
Yeah,
people want a piece.
Yeah. So who knows? I mean, who knows what his contractual obligations are with Mandalorian and Star Wars and Last of Us, and who knows what else he has on his plate. So
yeah.
But yeah, good episode, not a great episode, but
not a great, but still good.
Yeah, I'd give it like a solid 8 out of 10, and I'm excited to see the last 2 episodes and see how it ends, and hopefully
I'd say 7 out of 10 for me, but still good.
That's fair.
Still liked it.
Yeah, last 2 episodes. Fuck, I'm gonna be bummed when it's over.
I can't wait. Yeah, I can't believe we're already getting there. That sucks.
Yeah, man. I mean, like I said, this month is crazy for shows and stuff. So, we got the last half of season 4 of You starting next week. We got Ted Lasso starting, I think, in a week and a half or whatever, season 3 of that. We got
Nice.
Succession starting at the end of the month. We got Yellow Jackets starting at the end of the month. So I'm like full of shows, man.
He's got all your shows.
This month's awesome for Ryan.
Awesome for Ryan. When does Mario Brothers movie come out?
April 5th, I think.
Not too bad.
I'm not going to get to see Scream next weekend.
That's too bad.
I'm too busy
I'm not
next
going to
weekend.
see it.
So I will talk about my impressions without spoilers of Scream 6 probably in the coming weeks, but it won't be next week.
Good to know. I'm hoping to see Cocaine Bear next weekend. I'm hoping.
Yeah, I want to see that too. I don't think I'm gonna have time to see it in theaters.
I was trying to get Kate to go this weekend, but she wasn't feeling up to it. So
everybody I've talked to that's seen it said it's a fun fucking movie.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. So
yeah,
I'm there, and I like Elizabeth Banks, and she directed it, so I'm good.
I love Elizabeth Banks. She's awesome.
Me too. She's great.
She was just on Conan, right?
Yeah, she was.
Yeah. She's awesome.
Yep, very good. I like her.
Very.
What else happened? Anything? We still got a little bit of time. No, that's it.
No, I don't really have anything else. I mean, I think
there was like a. Did you see? I think there was like a Ninja Turtles trailer or something.
Not yet. He posted the voice actors who are playing.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was Jackie Chan plays Master Splinter. That's fucking great.
Jackie Chan Splinter, and one of the actors from What We Do in the Shadows is playing one of the villains.
Oh, nice.
There's a few other like semi-famous actors, and I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think the trailer he said is coming next week. I think.
Nice. You probably won't be into it because it's cartoon, right? But
I love the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, that was my favorite thing as a kid. So if the trailer like really compels me, I might go see it. But like, it has to be like the right art style for me, or I'm just not going to be into it.
I'm holding judgment back. I saw some pictures of the action figures, and I was pretty disappointed. But
yeah.
The thing is like it's hard to base it on a look because I know Seth Rogen is like a Ninja Turtles fan, so like
he's playing Rocksteady, I think, in the movie.
Oh, is he? Nice. That would make sense.
Paul Rudd's in it. Giancarlo Esposito. Yeah, it's got a great cast list. Like, there's a lot of really great actors and actresses in it. But yeah, I don't know. I wish it wasn't animated. I wish it was live action.
Nice. Yeah. I mean, I do too, but I'll take cartoon if I have to. So, especially because right now I'm like really into turtles, especially with all the turtle stuff, toys that are happening. It's like, making me so into it. So, John Cena's Rocksteady, or maybe he's Bebop.
Yeah, one of them is Bebop, and
Bebop and Rocksteady is John Cena and Seth Rogen. That's fucking hilarious. That's perfect.
Yeah, it's great casting. Yeah, I like I said, if the trailer catches me and it looks compelling, then I'll definitely go see it. But
nice.
It's all about the animation style for me. If it's fucking weird, then I'm gonna be out of it.
I get you. I understand that.
If it was done in like the style of like the 90s cartoon, I'd be there.
Yeah, that's the style I like the best. But some of the ones that have come after it have been pretty cool too, I think. But
yeah,
I've never got into any of them. So right now, the ones I'm kind of battling with is like they've been making toys of the Mirage comics, like the old original comics.
Yeah,
and it's like taking all of my power to not buy everything because they just look so fucking cool, and I'm just like, I don't need it.
Yeah.
I don't need it. I'm gonna probably buy the 4 turtles because they look badass, but I'm probably gonna stop there.
When they show the new toys for the new movie or whatever, send me a link and let me see them because
sure. I'll see if I can find them. They've been leaked.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'd definitely be interested in seeing them, but I don't know. I like I said, I want to see what they do with the trailer, and if it's got the right tone. Like same with the Mario movie, right? Like, I'm a huge, like, since I was 4 or 5 years old, played Mario. Like, I love that shit. But I was like, yeah, who knows? Like an animated, who knows if it's gonna be good or not? And like, yeah, it looks funny. It looks like a fun little movie. I'll check it out.
Fucking great. Yeah, I think it looks good. And then again, same with everybody except Chris Pratt. I feel like Chris Pratt doesn't really fit. It doesn't really bother me like it bothers so many people. But like, I feel like with so many standout people in roles, it's weird that our lead is like so divisive by most people.
Sure.
Like I think Charlie Day as Luigi is amazing. I think Jack Black as Bowser is fucking like perfect. Like
Seth Rogen as Donkey Kong.
Yeah, so good, man. It's like there's just so many good choices, right? So
I totally agree. The casting's great. Yeah, I think I wouldn't have went with Chris Pratt, but it is what it is. I
I
have
would
no
have went
control
with
over it.
Sacha Baron Cohen playing Borat, and he would say, "Oh, hello, it is me, Mario."
I would see that. I would see that in a heartbeat.
Imagine, wow, wow, wee, wow, I'm a plumber, I'm a plumber.
Oh, Princess Peach, her vagine like
Oh,
wizard
my
sleep.
wife.
Um, yeah, no, I'll definitely see it.
Amazing.
There's so many good movies coming out in the next couple months, man. Like we're getting spoiled. I love it.
Speaking of which, we'll take that off.
Yeah, we're done with spoilers. We're done with
We're
talking
done
about the
with
shows.
spoilers.
But yeah, that's it. I think next week we'll be obviously covering Last of Us 8 and Mandalorian
Before we wrap up.
2.
Before we
And
wrap up.
yeah. I won't cut you off, and then I'll talk about my thoughts on You season 4, last 6 episodes or whatever. I'll binge that this week.
Nice.
What do you got?
I was gonna ask you a question while we were on topic of video game movies.
Yes.
If there is a Nintendo property that you would like to see them make a movie of, what would it be?
Zelda, but I don't know how you adapt that into a movie.
I feel like Zelda feels like such an easy thing to adapt into a movie.
It depends, because
there's just so much to draw on, and there's so many different styles of games.
I would see. All right. I wouldn't want it animated, and that's the problem.
I know, but I feel like Link's and like Zelda's one you could do not animated if you wanted to.
They would have to make it all practical, and I would want to see Hyrule actually built out. I would actually want to see like fucking it all done real realistic. Like I'd want it almost like Lord of the Rings-esque, epic fucking movie. But
to me, I feel like they could get the general public on board with that if they went if they went Lord of the Rings realistic with it. Like,
I just don't know how. Like, there's not really a storyline to that. Like, it's fetch quests, man. That's what Zelda is. It's like, go to a dungeon, pick up this weapon, pick up this piece of medallion, do this, do that, and then piece them all together and you fight Ganondorf. Like, how do you make that into a compelling story? I don't know.
I feel like you could take elements of like what they do with Mandalorian, and
I think you'd have to go kind of Tomb Raider-esque with it, of like an explorer, like Link as like a relic hunter or somewhat. Like I don't know exactly how you make it work with Zelda lore, but like he's going through different dungeons to pick up like weapons to defeat like this monstrous Ganondorf type dude. But I don't know. Nintendo is hard for me because most of their stuff is so video gamey that it doesn't adapt well into a movie.
That's fair. Even the ones that should be adaptable don't seem to be adaptable, like from other systems and stuff, right? Like, look at all the failed attempts at stuff that have good. Apparently have good storylines. I'm not the one to talk, but
they are, like I said, they're making a mass effort right now to adapt a lot of shit into shows because of how successful Last of Us is.
Mm-hmm.
They're working on a Fallout show for Amazon. They're working on a BioShock show, I believe, for, I don't know if it's Amazon or Netflix or what. BioShock has one of the coolest storylines ever. Like, I love that world. I love that universe. I've told you how many times, like, I would love some of the action figures from that game. I would buy a Big Daddy. I would buy fucking all these characters. Like, I love that universe. I think like Dead Space would work really, really well as a show. It's like a horror game that takes place on. Yeah, it takes place on like an abandoned spaceship. Yeah, well, that too.
Horror game. Oh, yes. Okay, sorry. I think you said a horror game.
Yeah, HORROR.
It's a horror game.
Yeah,
no big deal.
It takes place on the spaceship basically, and they find this like relic on this planet, and they take it up to their spaceship, and it turns everything into like these like fucking crazy monsters basically on the ship, and it basically turns into like aliens where you're like an engineer on the spaceship that basically has to survive through this entire ship of all these fucked up creatures and stuff. And I think it would totally work as like a new age, like alien type movie.
Nice. Yeah, would probably be cool.
It's very, very gory and very bloody, but there's great games with great storylines. It's just finding the right creative writers, directors,
Yeah, to tell
cast,
the story properly.
and to actually get the budget to actually do justice to these things, because you got to remember some of these like universes are so fucking weird and like would be hard to actually materialize as like actual worlds.
Yeah.
Very true. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I mean, all the Resident Evil movies I've seen, they're all a mix
Shit.
of mediocre to bad.
Yeah.
But I've seen them all. Like, I watched the Resident Evil show. I fucking, I've watched all the Tomb Raider movies. I watched the Uncharted movie. Like, they're all very mediocre products. And Uncharted should have been a television show. Like, Uncharted would have made a great television show. And the fact they tried to shove it all into a 2-hour movie with Tom Holland just didn't work.
I would love to see. Remember that game, Maniac Mansion? Did you ever play it?
I never played it, but I know it. Yeah.
I would like to see. I was like one of my favorite games. I would love to see that made into a movie. I feel like you could do that into a movie.
Yeah, you definitely.
About a weird family and these kids all break into the house because something. I can't really remember. Even though I played it like literally for like 5 years of my life.
Yeah, but
Can't
30
everything.
fucking years ago.
Yeah, it was forever ago, but still. I loved it. I had a friend who was like obsessed with it, and then he got me obsessed with it, and I was like, oh. Then the other ones I think would be cool, but I think I would end up just feeling too corny. Would be like, I'd love to see Mega Man, but I just don't know how you do Mega Man without it feeling like a shitty RoboCop. So,
yeah. Again, I think like my most likely, like my guess, my fucking dark stab in the dark of what will be adapted next is Donkey Kong. Like, I definitely think there'll be a spin-off of this Mario movie that will be straight up Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, probably. Donkey Kong Country might be cool. I can't answer this, Jordan, because I don't know.
Metal Gear movie would be great. The thing with Metal Gear is Hideo Kojima is the creator of Metal Gear, and he's out of his mind, and like in the greatest way possible. Like he's an awesome dude. I'm not disparaging him in any way, but like the storyline to those games is like that shit wild and crazy, and it just, I don't think you could adapt that in like a real practical way. It'd be cool, but I don't know. It would take a huge budget.
Marcus, I thought about Metroid for sure. I think Metroid could be pretty fun too.
Metroid would be great. That's probably the best one we've like you came up with is Metroid would work. Samus on like a fucking alien planet, and again, it would be very alien-esque, but
yes,
it'd be really cool. Again, it would be hard to do like a compelling storyline. You'd have to come up with a really big reason why she's on this planet and what she's trying to do, but like a spaceship crashing on this like alien planet and her surviving through these like alien corridors and shit, like it'd be cool.
I'd love to see that suit armor fucking live action too, man.
Oh, same. Sick. Again, it has to be live action. I don't want that fucking shit animated.
Yeah, I agree.
Smash Brothers, again, how do you make it? Like, it'd be basically Mortal Kombat, and it just doesn't really work, right? Like, maybe after like you do a Donkey Kong movie and a bunch of other movies, maybe you could adapt that into like a mashup, fucking Avengers style like battle movie of some sort. But I don't know. You'd have to have all the heroes fighting off like the villains. Like instead of Thanos, it would be like Ganondorf and Bowser and like all these like villains teaming up against the heroes and like try to have some kind of like universe-ending storyline between the two for them to battle. But it would have to be like an Avengers-esque like 6 movies down the line. We team them up and all fight each other or something like that.
I feel like if they continue to do Nintendo movies, that's probably what they'll do. Is down the road they'll use Smash Brothers as like their Avengers. And like bring everybody together and whatever.
Only thing that came to mind is Margot Robbie as Samus. Not the smartest choice, but I'm not known for being smart. Hey, I'll watch Margot Robbie do anything. I'll watch her paint a house. Like Margot Robbie's beautiful. I don't give a fuck. I'll watch her in any movie she wants to be in.
You're like, go ahead, just paint that house. Not creepy.
3 hours movie of her just painting a house, and I'll be like, yeah, sweet.
It's called Margot Robbie Paints This House. Check it.
I'll rent that on Netflix.
$29.99.
She'd be great as Samus.
Yeah, it'd be fun. I have no say because I don't know.
Yeah, no, I mean, like maybe a couple RPGs, like you could probably adapt like Skyrim, Elder Scrolls.
What about Star Fox?
You could do it would have to be animated, I think, for that one. But
imagine they get in their ships and they're just like rectangles and shit, and like try.
I think it'd be very like Guardians-esque if you
Yeah,
did a
for
Star
sure.
Fox movie, but
I mean, I just think people would look at Star Fox and be like, Rocket.
yeah, exactly. It'd be like Rocket-esque slash
You wouldn't be able to get away from that.
fucking.
Like,
You'd have the Slippy the frog and
yeah,
like all the shit, but yeah, like I said, like Nintendo's very kid friendly in a lot of their content, so it would definitely be
true.
like translate very well to like animated movies, which is just not really up my alley.
Did you like the Sonic movies? Did you watch the Sonic movies?
I only watched the first one. I haven't seen the second one, but the first one was fine. It was.
Yeah.
I was a huge Sonic kid, like I said. Like I was a huge Genesis kid. So I definitely. I never got around to watching the second one. If it's available, I'll watch it tonight. But I don't know. Like it just didn't. It didn't have a compelling plot for me, but it was fun because it was Sonic. Sonic was the compelling part, and I love Jim Carrey. So like him as Robotnik, sure, I'll watch Jim Carrey act his way out of a paper bag for it's the same as Margot Robbie for me. They're both awesome.
You're in,
a Kirby movie. I'm connecting the plot points here. Yeah, you like exactly. You would have to do like a Link movie, like a Zelda movie. You'd have to make like a Kirby movie. You'd have to do a Donkey Kong Country movie. Have Ganondorf set up, have Bowser set up for the Mario movie, and then have I don't know, a Pokemon movie or something along those lines that actually is like an actual quality Pokemon movie of Ash Ketchum.
What wasn't the last one? Detective Pikachu was pretty popular, wasn't it? I didn't.
It was, but I don't think it had like much to do with the game. I think it was like a spin-off of like the idea of the game of Pikachu being. I never seen it, so I don't really know, but that's what I mean. Is like you'd have to use a bunch of stories to interconnect like the Marvel universe to build up to like a Smash Brothers type thing. But
totally, yeah, I definitely think that would have to happen. So
yeah, who knows? Maybe that's what they're trying to build towards.
Yeah,
what do I know?
Marcus E says Jim Carrey would have been interesting as Joker or Carnage back in the 90s. Well, like look, I always think of him in Cable Guy. He's pretty fucking crazy. So
yeah,
that's pretty Carnage-y in some ways. Maybe you'd have to take up the like, like the mental illness a little bit, but
I mean, he worked as Riddler for me. Like I loved him as Riddler. So
totally.
I don't know. I mean, it's too late now. Jim Carrey's like fucking 55. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, that's unless you got anything else. I think that's the end of this episode.
That's what I got. I got Whip Wednesday on Wednesday.
Yeah, what are you doing?
Got my buddy Token Customs coming to hang out. Should be pretty fun. Looking forward to that. And yeah, I don't know what I'm going to work on yet, but I started a secret figure today.
Oh, nice.
That I'm making for a friend that I can't wait to share. But you'll laugh. Everything I share with you, I know you'll get a kick out of. So
sweet. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So definitely go over to his YouTube channel and subscribe at Customs by Matthew on YouTube.
I'll do the banner.
Do the banner.
I'll do the banner. Do the banner.
Sub, hit the bell, all that fun stuff, so you don't miss an episode of Whip Wednesday. And obviously, I appreciate if you followed me as well, so we can get the numbers up on the podcast. And I'm not going to be streaming any games probably until Resident Evil 4 comes out at the end of March. So that will probably be the next big game I stream. That's I think the 24th of March. So yeah, if you're interested in that game, that's what I'll probably be playing next on stream. But other than that, that's the end of this episode. So follow us, subscribe, tell a friend, get our numbers up, and we appreciate all you hanging out in the chat.
Yeah, thank you guys. As always, it's always nice to see you guys.
We'll see you next week, next Saturday for episode 105.
105.
Beautiful.
Peace out,
thanks,
homies.
Buddies. Bye.
Bye.